Hi guys. For those of you that missed the lesson and you weren't available, weren't able to meet with me this morning, this is the lesson for today, June 3rd, Wednesday, June 3rd. And what we're doing in our reading comprehension lesson is we're going to identify the characters, the setting, major events, and the theme in a story. So let's talk about what each one of these mean. We know that the characters are the people or animals who appear in the story. Setting, we know that's where the story happens and when the story happens. And then major events, what does that mean? Major events are the important things that happen in the story. So we want to be able to think about as we're reading, and I'm not going to read the entire book, but this book will be linked to your assignment if you want to go through the whole book. But we're just going to, as we're reading some pages, we're going to think about who are the characters in the story. What's the setting? Where is the story happening? What are some major events? What are some important things that are happening in the story? And last, a theme. And we've talked about theme. We talked about theme earlier in the past weeks. And we know that theme means like, is there a lesson of something that the author wants to teach us in the story that we read? So we're going to think about those things as we read a few of these pages. But before we do that, let's just look at the cover of this book. It's Jabari Jumps. By Gaia Cornwall. And guys, you guys remember the story. We read this story in our class, Jabari Jumps, but let's just look at the picture. We're going to use the clues on the cover of this picture. Can we tell already just by looking at the cover who the characters might be? Yes, that boy, the boy standing on that diving board, Jabari, he's one of the characters that appear in this story. What about the setting? Where is this story happening? What can you tell in this picture? We can see trees in the background. We can see buildings. So we can tell that this is happening outside, right? Where might this be happening? Outside where? If he's jumping, this is a diving board. And if he dives, he's going to dive into the pool, right? So we can already know and we can already say this is happening outside at a pool. And is this happening at daytime or nighttime? When is this happening? If we use the clues on the picture, we can tell it's daytime. So you see already just by looking at the picture of our cover of the story, we know Jabari is a character. We know that the setting is outside at the pool during the day, right? So now we're going to continue thinking about these things, and think about what are some important things that are happening in the story and what might be something that the author wants to teach us in the story. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click on this, and we're going to read a few pages. Oops. Okay. All right. Jabari Jumps by Gaia Cornwall. I'm jumping off the diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. We know Jabari is someone that's in the story. Who else is in the story? Dad. And who do you think this is right here? Yeah, that might be Jabari's sister. So we have already identified two more characters. We know that it's Jabari, Dad, and sister so far. Let's keep going. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary, but Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed his swim test. And now he was ready to jump. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. Jabari watched the other kids climb the long ladder. They walked all the way out to the end of the board, as big as tiny bugs. Then they stood on the edge. They spread their arms and bent their knees and sprang up, 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 and then down, down, down. Splash! Looks easy, Jabari said. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder. He looked up. You can go before me if you want, he told the kid behind him. I need to think about what kind of special jump I'm going to do. Jabari thought and thought. It looks like he's letting other kids before him go ahead of him. Think he might be a little nervous? I kind of think he might be a little nervous and scared. Let's keep going. Jabari started to climb up and up, The ladder's very tall, he thought. Are you okay? Called his dad. I'm just a little tired, said Jabari. Maybe you should climb down and take a tiny rest, said his dad. A tiny rest sounded like a good idea. Look how high up he is, and they're way down here. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. I forgot to do my stretches, he said to his dad. Stretching is very important, said his dad. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping, Jabari said. They looked up at the diving board together. It's okay to feel a little scared, said his dad. Sometimes, if I feel a little scared, I take a deep breath and tell myself I am ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels like a surprise. Jabari loves surprises. We're going to stop here and let's go back to our screen here. Now, can you tell me something that you remember that maybe something important that happened in the story so far? We haven't read the whole book. What's something important that has happened so far in the story? Let's think. We're going to go back here. And right here on this page it says the diving board was high and maybe a little scary. But Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed his swim test, and now he was ready. Would you say that's something important in the story? An important event? I think so. So this is an example of an important event that happened in the story. And remember, back here, we're talking about identifying major events. And major events are important things that happen in the story. So I think we could say that Jabari finishing his swimming lessons and passing his swim test is an important event, a major event. So we just now identified something important that happened in the story. The last thing I want to point out to you is if we come back here, we also want to identify the theme. Remember, a theme is something that the author maybe wants to teach us, something that we could use in real life. So if I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about what we read so far, it makes me think about this part right here. And I think you're going to agree. Right here. It's okay to feel a little scared, said his dad. Sometimes if I feel a little scared, I take a deep breath and tell myself I am ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels a little like a surprise. Jabari loves surprises. So I think that's something that we can think about in our own lives. It's okay to feel a little scared. Would you agree? Sometimes when we try something new, we might feel a little nervous or scared. I think that this is one lesson, something that the author is trying to tell us, that it's okay if sometimes we are a little scared to try something. Okay, so again, like I said, I'm not going to read the rest of this book. You can go back into your lesson if you want to finish reading the rest of the story. But that's what this lesson today was about. It's about identifying the characters, the setting, major events, which are important things, and the theme. And we decided and we talked about the theme is that it's okay to be scared. Sometimes things can feel a little scary, but that's okay. So that is the lesson for today. There's nothing to submit with this reading comprehension lesson. It's just read the story and identify those story elements. All right. Thank you and talk to you tomorrow.